There is one question that separates the people who trade time for money their whole lives from the people who eventually stop having to. And here is the part that surprises most people. It is not how talented you are, it is not how hard you work. Two people can put in the exact same hours, have the exact same skill set, start in the exact same place, and one of them ends up exhausted and stuck, while the other ends up with money coming in whether they work that day or not. Same hours, same starting point, completely opposite outcome. The difference is one question. By the end of this, you will not only know what that question is, you will be able to look at your own situation and see exactly where you are on the wrong side of it. Because time is not the problem. Selling it by the hour is the problem. Let me show you the question. Forget everything you have been told about success requiring more hustle for a second. At its core, income is nothing more complicated than a trade. You offer something of value, someone pays you for it, and you deliver it. The traditional version is that the trade requires your time every single time. Someone pays, you show up, you deliver, you get paid. That is the employee version. That is also the freelancer version. It is the consultant version. It is most people's version. So the only question that actually matters is this. Can you set up that trade so it happens without requiring your time every single time it runs? If the answer is yes, you just created leverage. The difference between income that needs you and income that does not has a name. It is called passive leverage. And passive leverage is the entire game. Here is where it gets interesting, and here is the one question. Your output equals what you can produce, multiplied by how many times that production runs without you. Read that again. What you produce is one part. How many times it runs without you is the other. Multiply them together and you get the only number that matters, your true hourly output. A wealthy person does not ask, how do I work harder to earn more? They ask, how do one make this run without me, and how many times can it run? Same skill you already have. Completely different question. And throughout this video, I'm going to keep coming back to this one question, because every single method you are about to see is just this equation with different inputs. One more thing before we start a few of the 6 things I am about to show you, you can begin setting up today with what you already have. The others require more foundation first, and I will be honest with you about which is which as we go. I'm not going to pretend that building a licensing empire is something you can do on a Tuesday afternoon. But you need to see all of it, because the small versions only make sense once you have seen the big ones. Number 1 is licensing, and it is the oldest leverage trick there is. Almost every music artist, author, software creator, and patent holder on the planet uses it. Here is how it works. Say you have created something. A piece of music, a design, a system, a training curriculum, a photograph, a character. The traditional version is that you sell it once. One buyer, one transaction, your work is done, and so is the income. But that is the limited version because your creation is sitting idle most of the time. The wealthy version is that you never sell the thing itself. You sell the right to use it over and over to different buyers without creating anything new. That is a license. They pay you a fee every time they use, every month they run it, every unit they sell with it. The creation is the asset. The license is the loan they take out on it. And you are the bank. Now run the one question on it. How many times does your creation have to run without you? Potentially unlimited. You wrote the training once, you recorded the track once, you built the template once, but it can be licensed to 10 companies, or 100, without a single additional hour from you. Your per license fee might be small, but multiplied across unlimited uses, the return on your original time investment becomes enormous. That is why building something once and selling it many times is one of the most valuable skills in any creative or professional field. The creator never needed more hours. They needed better terms. And here is the version you can actually run. You do not need a record label or a patent office. Anyone who has ever sold a digital download, a Notion template, a preset pack, a written guide, or a training video has already touched this model. Same mechanism, smaller scale. Number 2 is rental income. And this is where most personal finance advice gets the math completely wrong. So let US actually run it. You find a small apartment that costs $200,000, it needs work, the previous owner let it go, which is exactly why it is priced below the market. You put 20% down, that is $40,000, and you take a mortgage for the remaining $160,000, then you spend $15,000 getting it into rentable condition. So at this point, $55,000 of your own money is sitting in this property. Now the apartment is clean, functional, and people actually want to rent it. At market rent of $1,400 a month, after the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and a reserve for repairs, you clear around $200 a month in actual cash flow. Most people look at that and say $200 a month is not impressive. And they are running the wrong calculation. They are measuring the cash flow against nothing. Let us run the one question properly. Your $55,000 produced $200 a month, which is $2,400 a year. That is a 4.4% cash return on your own money before the tenant pays down your mortgage balance every single month and before any increase in the property's value. Now, here is the part the other channels miss. That $200 a month does not require your time every month. The tenant pays, the mortgage gets paid, and the cash arrives. That is the one question answered. Your production runs without you. I will be honest about the catch because this is a numbers channel, not a highlight reel. The property will need repairs. Tenants will leave. There will be months where the cash flow is negative. The whole thing only works if you bought the right property at the right price with enough margin to absorb the bad months. That is the hard part. And that is the part nobody sells you a course on. This one is reachable, by the way, not billionaire territory. People with far less than you would guess do exactly this. Now we go up a level to the strategy behind every headline you have ever read about a CEO who seems to work less the richer they get. It is not luck and it is not inheritance. It is three ordinary principles stacked on top of each other. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. It is called build, delegate, collect. Step 1, build. You create a business, a system, a process that produces value for customers. On paper, you are doing well. But here's the thing about income that requires the owner. It is a job with extra steps. You only earn when you show up. So the wealthy person's first rule is simple. Do not stay in the job. You still need the business to run and grow and serve customers. So step 2, delegate. Instead of doing the work yourself, you hire, train, and systematize. So the business runs on processes and people rather than on your personal hours. This is a real transition that takes real investment. You pay salaries before you feel comfortable doing it. You build systems before they feel necessary. You document everything before anyone asks you to. Think about that against the one question. Your original skills and decisions are still producing value, but they are running through people and systems rather than through your direct hours. The business grows around 7 to 15% a year. Your personal time cost drops towards zero as the team matures. The spread between what the business produces and what it costs you personally keeps widening. And how much would it cost you to stay in the job? If you had stayed doing everything yourself, you would have hit a ceiling within a few years. Revenue is capped by your personal hours. So building the system is not just convenient, it is the entire point. Then comes step 3, collect. You own the equity. The equity grows. You take distributions. You do not sell unless the terms are right. And when the business eventually transfers, the value you created over a lifetime goes to your heirs at a stepped-up basis under current law. The gains you built over decades pass on largely intact. Build, delegate, collect. That is the machine. I am going to be straight with you. This one is not for you. Not today. You need a working business and real cash flow before you can afford to delegate anything meaningful. But you need to see it, because everything else in this list is a smaller version of the same idea. So how does delegation actually work at the small scale? And where does it go wrong? Because this is the engine underneath the last strategy, and it has a real failure mode worth understanding. When you delegate, you are essentially buying back your own time by paying someone else to produce. But you can only keep the spread if what they produce is worth more than what you pay them. If the work they deliver is weak, if the system is not documented, if you have to redo everything they touch, your leverage turns negative. You are paying for hours that cost you more than they produce. That is the version that exhausts business owners and kills small companies. And there is a small-scale version of this that is almost pure loss. So let me show you the guardrail. It is called hiring before you have a process. You bring someone in hoping they will figure out what to do. They cannot because you have not figured it out yourself yet. You spend more time managing confusion than you would have spent doing the work. When it goes wrong, leverage multiplies the losses in both directions. A positive setup scales your output. A broken setup scales your chaos. I am showing it to you so you can recognize it and stay away from it. The right version at the smallest scale is an affiliate or referral system. You create something once, whether that is a product, a service, or a recommendation, and you build a network of people who send you customers in exchange for a cut. You are not hiring anyone. You are not managing anyone. You are attaching your production to other people's audiences and relationships. Run the one question. Does the referral revenue run without you after setup? If the system is solid, yes, that is leverage at the smallest possible entry point. Now back down to earth to the most actionable method in this entire video. This is the small-scale version of number 1, the licensing idea. Except instead of licensing a complex original work, you are productizing a skill you already have right now. If you have a skill that solves a specific problem for a specific type of person, you already have the raw material. Most people with skills sell them by the hour. This is the traditional version, but run the one question on it. Does your delivery require your time every single time? With hourly billing, yes, every single time. With a productized service, no. You take the same skill, package it into a fixed scope with a fixed price, and a documented process, and suddenly the delivery becomes systematizable. You can hire someone to deliver it, you can build a checklist that runs it, you can record the training once, and sell it to 20 clients instead of one. The honest, straightforward version of this is not some dramatic business transformation. It is taking what you already do and wrapping it in a repeatable process. The leverage there is significant because you are not learning something new. You are not risking capital. You are just changing the structure of how the value gets delivered. That is a guaranteed improvement that requires no upfront investment. This is the one I want you to actually understand, because it is the exact same mechanism the licensor used. Build it once, run it many times, keep the difference between your cost and your output. The only thing separating you from the person selling a licensing deal is the packaging. Which brings us to the sixth one, and it is the one that absolutely everyone watching can move starting today. Look back at the one question. Your output equals what you produce, multiplied by how many times it runs without you. Most people obsess over the production side, adding skills, grinding harder, learning more. The wealthy obsess over the multiplication side, because every system you build that runs without you is a point of permanent leverage. And those points compound. Your reputation and your network are the single biggest lever on how many times your work gets multiplied. The national average professional spends almost no time deliberately building either. The difference between someone with a weak professional reputation and someone with a strong one can be several multiples of income over the course of a career. On every referral, on every collaboration, on every opportunity that gets passed to you, because someone trusted your name enough to put it in front of someone else, those multiples compound into tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The wealthy do not have access to some secret network. They have access to better opportunities because they made themselves worth referring. Everyone here can move this number, and unlike picking the right market or finding the right investor, improving your professional reputation is almost entirely inside your own control. So let us collect what we have. I told you a few of these you could run yourself and flagged them as we went. Here they are together, and here is how you run the one question on your own life right now. Start with your reputation, because it is the fastest win and it costs you nothing. Look at your online presence this week and ask whether it reflects the value you actually deliver. Every referral you earn lowers the cost of your next customer, your next opportunity, your next deal. That is method 6, and it is pure upside. Then look at the most powerful accessible move, the productized skill. If you currently bill by the hour or deliver a service manually every time, ask yourself what it would take to document the process well enough for someone else to run it. That documentation is the beginning of leverage. You could start that today. And the licensing and template idea applies to anyone who has ever built anything reusable. A process, a document, a framework, a system. Get paid for it more than once. Package it, price it, and sell it to more than one buyer. Every time you do, your own time in the deal drops, and the one question improves because you are dividing by fewer and fewer hours of your own. Now, run it yourself. For every hour you put into something today, how many times does that hour run after you are done with it? And does what produces beat what it costs you to create? That is the question. The business owner with a scaled operation and you with productized template are running the same arithmetic. The only thing that changes is the size and the direction you point it. So here is the whole video in one line, the one question to keep. Your time is just an input, and the only question that ever mattered is whether what you build with it keeps working after you have moved on. Get that one equation pointing the right direction, and time stops being the thing that owns you and becomes the thing you own. The employee trades hours for dollars once. The wealthy person asks what runs without them and how many times. Same hours, same starting point. One question, and now you know it. If this changed the way you look at how you are spending your time right now, that is the whole point of this channel. We run the numbers so you do not have to take anyone's word for it. Subscribe, and next time I will show you the version of this you can actually scale step by step. I will see you then.